you open the door up for everyone to talk about your business, but somehow I'm the pariah.
How are you feeling about this season now that you're watching it back? We're more than halfway through. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling like I need a nap a little bit. It's always, I say we always live the season 3 times, when we shoot it, when it airs, and when the reunion happens.
Yeah.
So we're in that second space now, and I'm just kind of, it's always the most stressful when the show airs because you get to see all of the shady things that everybody said. And, you know, I know that our fans are, you know, feeling all the feelings about the clear division in the group. I always say that I joined this show because I wanted to be a part of a sisterhood. And my hope is truly that we can somehow, some way get back to that. There are a lot of resolutions that need to happen in order for us to get to a good place as a group. There's some accountability that needs to happen on all sides. And you just, I think, give everybody a little bit of grace. So I'm channeling those things, and I'm hoping that we can get to the reunion in one piece and leave in one piece.
And leave in one piece. And you feel like that is possible, and do you feel like you can get there with certain ladies in the group?
I never say never.
Okay.
I feel like you always have to leave the door open. You know, to quote the ancient African proverb, it's Black History Month. The door is closed, but the door is open for me. It's just going to come down to a matter of owning some things, like truly owning them. Apologizing for them, and not apologizing and then doing the thing again that you apologized for. And then just, I think that for Robyn and I, it's a matter of needing to hear each other and wanting to fix it. You know, I'm not sure at this point if Robyn even wants to fix it. And if that's the case, then that's her decision. It's unfortunate, though, that, you know, given everything that has been done to Robyn by others in this group, that she would choose this hill to die on is unfortunate.
Do you think that she's taking out all of the frustrations that she's feeling from the other women out on you?
Maybe. For some reason, I don't understand why that would be, but for some reason, yes. It is starting to feel that way. Because as I said, the line is always moving. You're so angry with me for tweeting my feelings about your clown behavior, if you ask me. And everyone else has also had opinions. Your best friend has shaded you in confessionals and had things to say about your husband that are unsavory and mean-spirited. But me speaking on your clown behavior is somehow unforgivable. It feels like a concerted effort to try and push me somewhere into a corner.
Or like a double standard as well.
Yeah, that as well. So it's weird. It's weird. Very strange to me.
Is that the relationship that upsets you the most that's dissolved? Because I think at one point you said that you felt like she was a sister to you at one point.
Definitely. That's that was not on my bingo card.
No.
At all. So yeah, it's like the Twilight Zone a little bit, because Robyn has always, in my mind, been the most level-headed and the most sane of the group, and that's kind of why I gravitated toward her. But she's painting this narrative that exists in her head, and I can apologize where I have hurt her, but I can't accept that what I've done is unforgivable when we as an audience have watched truly unforgivable things happen, and you have gotten over them.
No, and I mean, you mentioned, obviously, you spoke out on Twitter, but she has spoken out on your marriage several times. Especially with, the woman that came forward and then, said that, so.
And then also, this is a show, it's an ensemble cast, right, about a group of dynamic women living our lives. We are essentially, it's our job to comment on each other's lives.
Of course,
It is what
it wouldn't be a show without it.
Yes, we all talk about each other. So I'm having a hard time with her zeroing in on me having an opinion about your choice to go behind a paywall and talk about your business, when you were talking about your business and you opened the door up for everyone to talk about your business, but somehow I'm I'm the pariah. I'm the one that needs to, you know,
right,
go off into the shadows.
Yeah. Do you still feel like there should have been some repercussion for her going behind that paywall? Do you still feel like she's the biggest fraud in the group for doing that?
I do think that for as much as we are charged in this group with sharing our authentic lives, and you know, I feel like in my time, I've been a part of this group for 6 years now, I've been very vulnerable. I've shared pretty much everything with you, almost to my detriment at times. Sure. And Robyn always presented herself as someone who did that as well, and who sort of really demanded that of all of us. We saw her do it with Karen last season when she's sitting at the table in Mexico and saying, "You're not honest, you're not truthful." Meanwhile, you're literally not being fully transparent and honest and truthful. And I acknowledge that she says that Robyn and Juan sort of figured out their issue when we weren't filming. But you know, that was still something that could have explained a lot of her behavior. I don't know what season it was where she was kind of going through a depression. Could that have contributed to the depression, whatever Juan may or may not have been doing? It's something that should have been explored, and it's not fair that we're all held to different standards. Somehow.
No, definitely. I mean, it was hard to watch her having like that breakdown, though.
It was.
And I mean, you obviously got very emotional about it too. And were you surprised that she reacted the way that she did?
Very.
You know, yeah.
Robyn doesn't really cry. She's usually the one comforting the criers. Like, what's coming to mind is when we were in my house at my townhouse dinner party, and the butter knife incident took place, and I was like, I gave her a beverage. And Robyn was there, like, crouched beside me, like, okay, calm down. She's always the comforter.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, it was hard to see her emotional, and I think I saw for the first time that she was really hurting. And I do think it has a lot to do with the conversation around her marriage and the questions around her marriage. I personally don't know what's fact and what's not with her and Juan, but I've always been an advocate for Robyn and Juan. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to call out nonsense when I see it, and what I saw was nonsense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure if Chris deleted all of his conversations in his phone, that would be a major red flag.
Well, I'm wearing the red. I am the red flag.
You are the red flag.
Today. That is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Strange. And, you know, no shade to Juan, but that's weird. End of story. Yeah.
Knowing that, like, you've been such an advocate for her marriage over the years, when she spoke out about your marriage and believed that woman before, you know, the facts really came to be, how did that make you feel?
What's the word? It felt intentional. It felt like she was doing it to purposefully hurt me.
Yeah.
And that hurt a lot. I definitely had some moments where I needed a crying goal for that. Just because, again, you think you know people.
Sure.
And, you know, everyone deserves the space to be hurt and behave uncharacteristically because they're hurt. But I just personally never saw that coming from Robyn.
Did you expect it from Gizelle?
Oh, I mean, you expect hell on wheels from that thing, as she referred to me.
Yeah.
And again, it's like I've always tried to separate the two. But, you know, it is challenging to be friends with someone who's friends with someone who has made herself your enemy.
Sure. And you say that on the show, too, that you don't know if you can be friends with her anymore.
Yeah, and I think that that's an honest thing to say. I'm not proud that I feel that way. I'm not happy that that's how I feel, but it is my honest feeling. And I felt like I could share that with Robyn, who I thought was my friend.
Yeah.
And she not take such offense to it. But again, like what I'm learning about this space and what I forgot about this show is that you think you know, but you don't. You have no idea.
Yeah.
The real world.
The real world, right? I was thinking that too. But you said you're hopeful going into this reunion that you can find some sort of peace. Do you want that with Gizelle? Do you think that you could ever get back to any sort of place where you're like, okay, maybe we can be cordial with one another? You know, do you foresee that?
I never say never, but it's going to take a lot of accountability on her part, and she doesn't seem interested in being accountable. She seems interested in continuing her barrage of lies. So if that's her choice, then she's making a decision to never want to be friends with me again. I will never bow down to her, which is what I think she wants. I will never acquiesce to her efforts to try and marginalize me in this group. I am not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm here, and you will have to deal with me whether you want to be accountable or not. But that's up to her.
Right, that's up to her. Do you feel like if the apologies don't come at this reunion that it may never come at that point then?
I don't know. Yeah. I honestly don't. I don't know what she's thinking. It's actually very weird the way that she has chosen to take up arms on this. When all you have to do is apologize and stop adding fuel to a very dangerous fire. You cannot accuse my husband of forcing you into a hotel room. That is a categorical lie. Yeah. And you're adding to the list of reasons why I would never want to be friends with you. So stop lying and we can talk about a friendship. Right. But until then, I don't see it for her.
Right. It's like move on at this point. Yeah. It could have all been forgotten.
Literally, we could have moved on, and I'm always willing to come to the line and understand people. And I did understand her discomfort in the beginning. Sure. But now you're spiraling. It's like you're mad about being clocked by our fans for lying and continuing to lie, and it's backfiring on you.
Yeah. You know, you tweeted that you were triggered by this most recent episode of the show with women talking about the sexual assault and things like that. After watching this past episode, how do you feel?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I was very happy and really proud of Karen for using her platform to bring awareness to sexual assault. And I got to sit with the founder of PAVE, Angela. She's amazing. She made it really easy for all of us to share our personal stories. And one of the things, and I said this in my tweet, the silver lining in all of that conversation was that I received a lot of positive feedback from people who acknowledged my experience with sexual assault, and it was eye-opening to see that how many of us have had our own experiences, and everyone sort of walks around with a mask on of, happiness and whatever they're feeling, but you don't know what people are going through. True. Yeah. So it felt like for a moment a glimmer of hope that we could rally around something positive. But at the same time, it was also, like I said, triggering that someone who has made it their business to falsely accuse someone of sexual assault with certain insinuations, that they would pretend to be supportive of that when you are, in essence, contributing to why women don't come forward. Yeah. So it's dark, and I don't like to talk about it, but I have to be honest with myself, and it was important that I say how I felt about that.
Definitely. No, it really is.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to Ashley got to be maybe a couple months ago at this point now, and she said that the two of you were in a better place at the end of the season. How are you? Where's this friendship now?
Well,
if we can define it as a friendship.
Well, yes, a friendship in flux.
Okay.
So at BravoCon, I think we decided together that we were 70-30. Okay. 70% friends and 30% not. Yeah. Frenemies, if you will. And I'm happy with where we are. I think that we've both grown a lot. We're two of the younger women on the cast, and you've seen our lives change pretty drastically since we've been on the show. You know, I got married. I bought my first home. You've seen me go through a pre-mom journey with my IVF journey. You're seeing Ashley going through a transition, you know, still getting divorced. We're waiting for the divorce part. Have her babies and, you know, buy her own home, and really she's in a new space, and I'm happy to see her sort of being brave enough to step out on her own, and I support it fully, and I support her finding, you know, new love and figuring out where she wants to go in her life. So I'm hoping we can stay there, and focus on that growth and not her being a mess machine, as she likes to be.
I know, based on the show, we're not going to talk legal things, but are you hoping that like that chapter with Michael is over soon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very much so.
Very much so. Good. Good. I hope so too.
Yes.
Are you going to be invited to Mia's upcoming wedding?
Wedding with a question mark, because what, girl? It's like you're still married to Gordon, and I don't think you can get married while you're still married. I'm not sure if the law allows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was that photo where she's straddling this mystery man, and she's got the date 4/4/24. And I literally said, I don't know if you've seen The Color Purple, but there's a line where Sophia asks Harpo, who this woman? So I literally tweeted, Harpo, ... because who is this man?
Who is this man?
And from whence did he come? We are all confusion. But, you know, Mia is a Sagittarius, and I'm a Sag, so I think I understand her in all of her shenanigans and her penchant for stretching truths. At the core of Mia, she is lovable, and I wish her and Gordon the best. Divorce is not fun. They have small children, so I know it's a lot of adjusting. And from what I hear, though, they both have significant others already, so they seem to be good with where they are. So if there's a wedding child, send me the registry.
Right, save the date.
Yes, right.
You mentioned your road to motherhood earlier, and I know in the mid-season trailer you do open up again, get emotional about really wanting to have a baby.
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, where are you kind of in that process now?
Yes, so I want to clear something up, because there's this misunderstanding, one, that I'm not able to have children, and my heart goes out to women who are dealing with infertility. In going through my own personal IVF journey, I learned a lot about what it looks like to have to go through just 2 rounds of IVF. I know women that have been through 5, 6, 7 rounds, and it's hard on your body, it's hard on your mind, it's hard on your soul, it's a lot. And I really extend my love to women who are dealing with that, and men and families who are dealing with that. My personal journey was more so family planning. I am able to conceive naturally, according to my physicians. I simply wasn't ready to become a mom. And it was important to me that I give myself the option when I was ready.
Of course, totally.
So for me, egg retrieval and then freezing embryos, which is what my husband and I did, was about planning the future. So we have embryos frozen, they're in the freezer, and when I'm ready, we will do an implantation, and prayerfully it results in a child. So I'm going to start with 1, and we'll see how I feel. If I love it, maybe we'll do it again. If not, maybe a surrogate. I'm excited, though. I'm very excited for the future. Whenever the time comes for implantation, I'll be ready to do it.
Definitely. You'll be a great mom. I love that. You know,
Thank
you and Chris have weathered a lot of storms, and I'm sure you get this question a lot, because I don't think a lot of marriages probably would have survived the things that you guys have survived.
Gosh,
How do you keep yourself grounded? How do you kind of block out that noise? And, and was there ever a point that maybe you thought, maybe this isn't good for us anymore, maybe we shouldn't do this?
Yeah.
Not your marriage, maybe the show.
Yeah, well, we have that conversation all the time. I think Chris and I being friends first is what helps us sustain. We were truly like homies for several years before I ever saw him in a romantic way. And, love is patient and kind and all those things in Corinthians, but it can also be fleeting. And when love is kind of ebbing, it's a friendship that can sustain a marriage. And for us, that has been the case for sure. I can like him when I don't want to love you right now, but I like you as a friend. I respect you as a friend. The show has definitely rocked us in many ways. It's also been great for us. We got married on the show. You really saw the beginnings of our life together, which is we'll always have forever. But it's done, you know, a number on us in a lot of ways, and it's been a lot for Chris to have his character be tested and tried. But the saving grace has been the fans, the audience that sees through it, and the camera doesn't lie, and you can see a genuine heart when it's real. And Chris is a really genuine person, and I appreciate the fans for all the love and support and seeing Chris for who he really is.
Definitely.